Hi there, welcome to my 15 minutes kitchen magic, which is a series I'm just starting now about amazing things you can do in the kitchen within 15 minutes. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I get a lot of pushback from people saying I have no time to cook. And so I'm very determined to show you what you can do in a kitchen within 15 minutes. So today I decided to kick it off with a recipe that I actually never made before, but I just made it up last night. And it's going to be all about broccoli, asparagus, and some amazing dressing. All of that's going to be steamed. And so, well, let's see how we're doing for time. It's 12:48 right now on my watch right here. So 15 minutes, right? I'm going to lose some time talking to you guys. But so let me get started first. Let me just give it a quick rinse. The broccoli is an organic broccoli. I love this type because you can really eat the whole vegetable. The strand here is so thin that it can be easily chopped up and steamed. The asparagus that I got is not organic, and that's okay. One of the things about asparagus is that the conventional one has got lower residues of pesticides in them than a lot of other vegetables. And so that's why I don't mind it, although, you know, if there was an organic one, I would have gotten that. Alright, so while I'm doing this, actually the first thing I should have done is switched on the water, which is right here. So let me show you what I'm doing. This is a steam basket, right, that goes into a pot. If you don't have one of those, you know, that's okay, because you can also get one of these little things, a steaming basket, and you can put that into any pot, larger pot that you have at home. So this was just to show you. And so let's get going with the veggies. Very simply, with a very sharp knife. Best to sharpen it at least once a week. So nothing too complicated. And the size, well, I'm always asked, what about the size? The length of the stem. Well, you want to keep it probably like ½ an inch to so that it's not too hard when it's steamed. So that's the broccoli. And I'm just gonna straight away, not even wait for the water to boil, but I'm just gonna put that into the basket. Now, one of the things about broccoli and asparagus is that they have the same steaming time, which is about 5 to 7 minutes. And so that's the reason why we can easily put them together, and that's okay. If you're not sure about the cooking time, steaming time of the different vegetables, then just separate them, you know, and then once you become more experienced as a chef, as a cook, then it becomes much easier. So with the asparagus, I'm just doing ½ an inch as well, just because I don't like it when it's too hard. Okay, so I think I'm probably going to finish it. I'm beginning to feel like it's becoming harder and harder to cut, throw that away, and on a similar note, I'm just going to pop everything in here. The dressing I'm going to be making is made of tahini, miso paste, and I'll tell you about it in a second. One of the tips I want to share with you about quick cooking is that what really is going to save you a lot of time is to prepare as many ingredients as possible and put them around you on the table. Because that's what really is going to save you a lot of time instead of walking back to the kitchen, around the kitchen and to the fridge, etc. I've also got, just to show you, crunchy sprouts, which is a great source of protein. And I like mine to be steamed for a minute or two, so I'm going to pop them in a little bit later. I don't like them to be raw, but if you're okay with eating them raw, it's actually healthier to eat them raw. The reason why we like them sprouted is because anything you sprout, the nutrients really come out, and that's a really optimal kind of a food to eat, especially a great source of protein. So let me show you now the dressing that I'm going to be making, and put the fire down a little bit. The dressing is going to be made of miso paste, which is basically fermented soy, and the one that I'm making today is made of brown rice. You have other ones made of soy, made of chickpeas. I just picked brown rice. And then I'm also using tahini, which is a sesame paste. These two are going to balance each other very well, because this is where the salty is coming from, this is where the sweetness, so to speak, is coming from, and I'm also going to be using a lemon into it. So let's give it a go. I haven't really done this before. This is really something that I just made up last night. So let's see how it goes. So I'm just going to use 1 tablespoon of the tahini, like let's just say a generous tablespoon of tahini. I love tahini. Again, it's a great source of very healthy fats and proteins, really, because it's made of sesame seeds, right? And then I'm going to use a tablespoon of miso. And you know, I love my olive oil. So the one that I'm using here is from Sicily. It's unfiltered. It's kind of murky, and that's what you should love about food like this. It's closest to the real thing, not those you know, super transparent. How much was that? I would say a tablespoon, because that's really what's going to give it a lot of smoothness. I'm just going to use just a tiny bit of soy sauce, not too much, because a teaspoon, that's what I used. Because miso is very salty, so we don't want to make it too salty. Salty food, you know, for lunch is going to make us later crave sugar 5-6 hours later, because our body always balances itself off. I'm also going to grate in some ginger here. Ginger is one of my absolute favorite spices. If you don't like ginger, just don't put it in. And got a grater right in front of me here. So how much ginger to put? I'm just going to go for about, you know, like an inch. And the reason why I'm not taking off the skin is because when it's organic ginger, it's okay to use it with the skin. It's only the unorganic ones, the conventional as they call it, you want to take it out, right? Okay, and then I'm gonna squeeze in that lemon into it. If you don't have one of these, it's okay, but I tell you, once you get one of these squeezers, they are just absolutely amazing. I'm squeezing on you half a lemon today, so that's not a lot of work. But if you're doing something like ceviche, which requires 10-20 lemons, then that's going to be a lot of hard work. Okay, so let me show you another trick here. One of the great things of mixing something together is to put 2 forks together like this, and basically start whisking it. Alright, so oh, this is gonna, I mean, just the smell of it, you know, it's just that ginger and the sesame paste, and I can smell the amazing miso. Mix it in well. Tahini is quite hard, so it requires a little time to really mix in well together. So you can see how it's looking. I'm a right-handed girl, so I need to go this way. Going to add just a little bit of olive oil to it. If you're finding this too thick, you can also add water to it, and that's okay. Just to dilute a little bit. How we're doing for time? It's 12:56. Not bad, not bad. All right, and so I think it's probably about time to. Let's see how we're doing with the steamer. Definitely getting that. I'm gonna chuck in my bean sprouts. And so in a minute I'm gonna mix everything together. Just to show you, from last night I had some quinoa left over. Quinoa really is great for, unlike rice, it's very easy to leave it overnight and have it over the next even 2-3 days. So I'm gonna use some of that in the salad, but it's okay. Like if you don't want to have grains, that is fine. Another trick I wanted to show you is really important to carry and store your food. If you're making this as an office lunch, use glass as much as possible. Stay away from plastics. There's a lot of controversy right now with BPA and just a lot of chemicals that are stored in plastic, and so. And you know, again, trying to microwave as little as possible. Alright, so let's see how we're doing. I think we're pretty much ready. How do you know it's ready? Well, you know, you don't want to overcook it, that's for sure. From broccoli, let me show you. I mean, the broccoli looks just really nice and tender. For people with thyroid conditions, you may know I work a lot with people with thyroid conditions. We don't want to do things like kale and broccoli too much, right? Because this goes through its food, and so it does lower the function of the thyroid. Steaming it takes away a lot of the goitrous properties of food like that to a large extent, but we still want to limit it as much as possible. So let me grab a big bowl and something to grab it with. I think we're pretty much ready to go. As you can see, this is lunch for not just one day. This could be lunch for 3 people, for 3 lunches, or for lunch and dinner, with lunch and dinner tomorrow. You know what I mean? So it's really, really important that when we cook, it's just not for one day, and that way the 15 minutes becomes basically like, you take 15 divided by 3 because there's a meal for 3. How greatly economical is that? If this wasn't so high, I would actually use my hands and just dig in and do it, because, you know, that's just the most wonderful way of mixing food. You're really feeling it, you know, like you're really, really getting into it. And as long as you have clean hands, there's no reason why you shouldn't be using your hands, even when you're cooking for other people. Jamie Oliver will tell you that. So let me grab a plate and dish out just a little bit of it, just to show you how it looks. I mean, I wish that we could have smells on the internet. And it looks creamy without using any cream or dairy. It's all using healthy fats. So I'm gonna photograph this in a second and put it up on my website to show you. And voila! That's how it looks. What time do we have? It's exactly 1 o'clock. We started at 12:48, if you remember, so that took me exactly 12 minutes to do this. Wonderful lunch.